Hare Krishna, all of you. Pranams. So let's start today's session with prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Hare Krishna, all of you.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Pranams.
Vasudevaya. Om Namo
So let's start today's session with prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Ajnanaatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathamvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyavascha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shvasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Can we all together chant the Mahamantra? Unmuting yourself. Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare.
नमाचार्य पदानि ते कृपा पदानि गौरव पदानि दामदानि ग्रहपदानि नमस्कार कृष्ण श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देव गौरवाणी शून्यवादी भाषा तदेश धारिणी मुखम करोति वाचालं मुक्ते यत् कृपा. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. So Friday we were trying to rush and run because of the non-availability of the speaker, but still we could make it up. So today the shlokas that I have to speak upon is 1.9.27, 28 and 29. There are 3 shlokas. As we all know, the chapter 9th itself says Bhishma Dev is passing away, isn't it? So when he is passing away, he is executing the orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to enlighten and advise and give guidelines to Yudhishthir Maharaj, who is going to be coronated as Hastinapur's king. And this was also the dream, of Bhishma Dev. Okay, so with everybody's permission, we start praying to Almighty to help me to utter the right words, which can help everybody's benefit of upliftment of devotional service, and it's a purification for me too. Okay, so 1.9.27. As I always request, we all can read. If you all want, you all can unmute yourself and you all can read. Or else one will be reading after me. The others can keep yourself mute and read. Please read. So, Danam dharma rajadharman moksha dharma vibhagasha stri dharman bhagavat dharman samasa vyasa yogitaha. Yes, I see Archana Shri Radha Devidasi Mataji. Yes, please go ahead with the shloka.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dana dharman raja dharman moksha dharman vibhagasaha stri dharman bhagavat dharman samasavyasa yogataha. Thank you Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Madhvi, you can read the translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. He then explained by division acts of charity, the pragmatic activities of a king and activities for salvation. He then he described the duties of women and devotees, both briefly and extensively. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Now, this purport is huge. So, Devla Mataji, you can read, but in between, I will ask you to stop and then you can continue because there are almost 5-6 paras. Everybody will get opportunity. So, after Devla Mataji, Vrishabhanu Mataji can take the turn, then Sindhu Mataji, and so on. Yeah. So, we will require, after Sindhu, Padma Mataji, and after Padma Mataji, Sudha Mataji, everybody will get opportunity. So, yes, Devla Mataji, you can start.
Yeah, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dhanavad Pranam.
Yeah.
But by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. To give charity is one of the householder's main functions, and he should be prepared to give in charity at least 50% of his hard-earned money. A brahmachari or student should perform sacrifices, a householder should give charity, and a person in the retired life or in the renounced order should practice penances and austerities. Those are the general functions of all the ashramas or orders of life on the path of self-realization. In the brahmachari life, the training is sufficiently imparted so that one may understand that the world as property belongs to the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead. No one, therefore, can claim to be the proprietor of anything in the world. Therefore, in the life of a householder, which is a sort of a license for sex enjoyment, one must give in charity for the service of the Lord. Everyone's energy is generated or borrowed from the reservoir of energy of the Lord. Therefore, the resultant actions of such energy must be given to the Lord in the shape of transcendental loving service for Him.
Can we wait for a minute, Mataji, if you don't
Yes,
mind?
sure.
Yeah? You will continue from where you stopped, yeah? Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. So, as dear devotees, we were trying to understand on Friday also Varnas and Ashramas. Yeah. So, Yudhishthir Maharaj, because he is going to be the king of Hastinapur, and its name is given as Hastinapur, but that time it was like Bharat Khande, the whole of the world was just one. So he'll be sitting on the throne of Hastinapur, but he will be addressing to everybody. So today we say, oh, South America, North America, UK, Africa. So this divide and these boundaries are over a period of time. But when Rajabhishek happened of Yudhishthira Maharaj, it was Bharat Khande, Bharat Varsha. It was only one name of the living beings staying on this planet. So that's how he is trying to enlighten. Previously also he has given a lot of information to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Here, very, very important few points that we are seeing. He says to give charity is one of the householder's main function, and he should prepare to give in charity at least 50% of his hard-earned earned money. Now, dear devotees, this was written there 50%, but nowadays if you go and check, uh, the rent is taking away a measure of the chunk. Then is the children's education. Where we are cutting out is to our meal and to our living. We may not shop every time. We may only do festivals in bare minimum, because the cost of living is becoming so high. To maintain one's livelihood is becoming very difficult. So therein, this statement of giving charity, it doesn't mean that you have to give all of. So in Nectar of Devotion, it is bifurcated how one has to. So first, you have to deduct from the salary what all is your expenses, personal expenses. Your rent is there, for children is there, anybody sick at home, then any of your very close relative, or if a widow is there, or maybe there is a family who don't have earning member who are very close to you. So you have to part with them. That is also a charity. And then what is left out, you have to keep something as a reserve to meet up the sudden expense. And then definitely we must make a point to give something in the charity. Yeah, because that something will go many places, just not one place. So it says a brahmacharya or a student should perform sacrifice. Now, brahmacharya or student. So if we see our today's life, we see the brahmacharis are, in a lavish way, but somewhere the brahmacharis are suffering. Yeah. So once it was, a discussion with the one of the group, that if every grasta goes to ISKCON temple and adopts one brahmachari, you know, whom we can provide their living. Basic, there is very basic living. They don't ask you, oh, I want, body shop, I want Gucci perfume, I want luxurious clothes. They are in their white or saffron. That too, they get once in a year. Then they are living only on the charities or donations and the bare minimum sevas. Then, or student should perform sacrifice. Now, sacrifice doesn't mean here that particularly we are asking you to give up. They say bare minimum. And how is that bare minimum? When we are in student life, I remember my time, we used to say from morning to say 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, we are in only school uniform. So, and then hardly we are going out anywhere. So why to spend money and accumulate clothes and just put it in the cupboard? So buy bare minimum. That's how we have to understand and teach our young generation. It's like, online shopping. Oh, mama, I like this. By the time mama or daddy is just giving you their view, it has already delivered. And the money is deducted from your credit card. How fast, this, they say this is the technical progress. No, it's not a technical progress. Then it says a householder should give charity, and a person in the retired life or in the renounce order should practice penance and austerity. Yes. Among the 4 ashramas, it's only a grast ashram who has to take responsibility of the other 3 ashramas. Because the brahmachari and brahmacharini we get from this grast ashram. So how important it is that the grast ashram should practice on the basis of the Shastra. And then from this Garastha ashram, some may go for Vanaprastha. But from Brahmacharya, not going into Grastha ashram, they can straight away take up to, any clue? Sannyas.
Sannyasa.
Yes, sannyas. Yeah. So from Brahmacharya, they can straight away take sannyas, but they cannot take Vanaprastha, because to get Vanaprastha, one has to first get into household life. They have to complete their responsibilities, and then they can be a Vanaprastha. So these are the ashramas or order of life on the path of self-realization. It says in Brahmacharya life, the training is sufficiently imparted so that one may understand that the world as property belongs to the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead. If this knowledge is departed in every school right from the beginning, then there'll be no looting happening, there'll be no rapes happening, there'll be no, this Gundaraj happening, because they will know what we are going to lootify doesn't belong to us. It's all the property of the Lord. So there'll be a fear. But that is not happening. That practice is not happening. And that's the reason we are suffering. It says, no one therefore can claim to be proprietor of anything in this world. Because if it is taught that the owner, real owner, is the Supreme Lord. Then it is further said, in life of a householder, which is a sort of license for sex enjoyment, one must give in charity for the service of the Lord. Everyone's energy is generated or borrowed from the reservoir of energy of the Lord. Therefore, the resultant action of such energy must be given to the Lord in the shape of transcendental loving services for Him. Yes, because when in Grastashram, one wants to enjoy the life in sense gratification, where results into we have progeny. So that progeny will be a quality one if we practice devotional service. This is what is the point here, that you are sanctioned. So it doesn't mean you are sanctioned, so you'll be engrossed day and night into it. It says that one meet for progeny, and progeny should be with the practice of devotional service, with the Garbhadhana samskara and Garbhadhara samskaras. Mataji, I think you can continue.
Sure, Mataji.
Vimla?
Yeah. As the rivers draw water from the sea
Yes.
through the clouds and again go down to the sea, similarly, our energy is borrowed from the Supreme Source, the Lord's energy, and it must return to the Lord. That is the perfection of our energy. The Lord, therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita 9.27 says that whatever we do, whatever we undergo as penance, whatever we sacrifice, whatever we eat, or whatever we give in charity must be offered to Him, the Lord. That is the way of utilizing our borrowed energy. When our energy is utilized in that way, our energy is purified from the contamination of material inabilities, and thus we become fit for our original nature, life of service to the Lord. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare
Thank
Krishna. So it says, the Bhagavad Gita 9.7. What is the shloka?
Yat karoshi yat ashnasi yat juhosi patasi yat juhosi.
I thought Sindhu will jump first. Huh? She's on the rock chair. Huh? So,
No, I was just thinking Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. That's very important verse.
yeah. So it says, whatever you do, whatever you have, yat karoshi, yad nashi, yad johoshi dadati yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurusva madarpanam. That is, whatever you are giving me or offering me, keep me to be the center. Give me. Many a times people come and say, if we ask them, you can do Gita Dan, or you can do some Brahman Dan, or for cows, you can do some Danam. They say, Mataji, every year when we go to India, we are already, into practice. So we'll say, really, oh, very nice. What you do? So we go to any school and we will see, we will ask them, if any child is not capable of paying fees, or don't have books, or they don't have uniform, then we buy and give them. So we ask them, and how is that you calculate as charity? They say, we gave, no? So that is our charity. So that is the lack of understanding. Here, charity doesn't mean just giving away something. Lord is making very clear point that whatever you give, whatever you do, whatever undergo as penance or sacrifice or eat or give in charity as offering, I should be the center. That means you have to connect your charity through me to me. How is that school child whom you have given the school fees or uniform or books, how you connected them to Krishna? No. So first you have to connect them to Krishna and then give them charity, saying that now you must also practice. So then Krishna is going to take care for what you have done the action and for them also. It becomes a two-way. That's why Prabhupada says, give and take. Krishna consciousness, everybody benefits. And then it says, when our energy is utilized in that way means we are borrowing from everything from Krishna. Like, for example, when we cook food, actually, while cooking food, we have done so many aparadhas. By cutting the vegetables, so many we have murdered. When we are eating fruits, we cut them. So many murders are happening. But immediately we keep Krishna in center. We offer it to Lord, and He purifies that, and it comes to us as prasadam, wherein we are not bound with those actions. So that's why we are taking from Lord, we are utilizing, we are borrowing that energy. So when our energy is utilized in that way by giving Him, keeping Him in center, it purifies us, and that contamination of material inevitability, and thus we become fit. That's the reason when we offer to Lord, we say mantra that we are offering to Lord. If there is any mistakes, please forgive. And when we are eating that same, again we say the mantra that with your permission, we are eating. We are thankful that you have given us. Now, again, we are requesting you, when we eat this, let that energy convert into within us as the way you want that to be utilized. Sharira vidya jan, jo indriya tahika, jive phale vishe sagare, taramate jivati, lobomay suramati. So this is the mantra that we say before eating. So how this practice, over a practice of devotional service, how perfection will take place. So this is what Bhishma Dev is trying to ask Yudhishthir Maharaj, how he has to take care by giving these instructions to the masses. And now it starts as Raja Dharma. What is the Raja's Dharma? What is the king's Dharma? Yeah, Vishabhanu Mataji, you will start reading and I will ask you to stop somewhere, please. Yeah. Vishabhanu Mataji. No? Okay, Sindhu, you can start.
Mataji, may I?
Oh, okay.
May I
Yes, because I did not get any response. That's why I thought Sindhu can start.
No.
Okay, Vishwanu Mataji, if you can start.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Raja Dharma is a great science. Unlike modern diplomacy for political supremacy, the kings were trained systematically to become munificent and not merely by tax collection. They are trained to perform different sacrifice only for the prosperity of the subjects. To lead the prajas to the attainment of salvation was a great duty of the king. The father, the spiritual master, and the king are not to become irresponsible in the matter of leading their subject to the path of ultimate liberation from birth, death, disease, and old age. When these primary duties are properly discharged, there is no need of government of the people, by the people. In modern days, the people in generally occupy the administrations by the strength of manipulated votes, but they are never trained in the primary duties of the king, and that is also not possible for everyone. Under the circumstances, the untrained administrators play havoc to make the subject happy in all respect. On the other hand, these untrained administrators gradually become
Robbers and thieves.
rogues and thieves and increase the taxation to finance a top heavy administration that is useless for all purpose. Actually,
Wait,
the qualified
wait.
brahmanas,
Please wait. Yeah.
yes,
You can start once I explain this point. Yeah, please,
yeah,
please wait. Yeah, thank
okay.
you so much. Yeah. So, Raja Dharma. Raja Dharma is what is the duty of a king. It says it is great science. Sorry. So, it is a great science, unlike modern diplomacy for political supremacy. The king were trained systematically to become munificent and not merely be tax collectors. Now, if you see, there are few points. It says the father, the spiritual master, and the king are not to make irresponsible in the matter of leading their subjects. Now, their subjects means for a father, the subjects are the children, the dependent family. For the king, the whole of the praja, and for the spiritual master, his disciples. So, to the subjects, to the path of ultimate liberation from the birth, death, old age, and disease. So, there is a beautiful shloka that Rishabhadev is uttering in 5th canto. It says, Guru na shishyat, janani na shishyat. Yeah, that is that we cannot claim ourselves to be a father, a mother, a husband, a guru, for that matter, even a devata, if we are not showing the path of devotional practice towards Krishna consciousness. So this is the point here, that or to become a king, there was a sufficient training given earlier. And it was just not to merely collect the taxes and just put it in their treasure, and then unlike what is happening nowadays many places, the politicians, they will just be on the chair for 5 years just to accumulate. I remember beautiful, in one of the lecture, it was, explained, Panama paper leak. I don't know how many of you all know. Any clue about it? What was it? No? Okay. So let me explain you all. How it happens is, I'll just give a layman example first. See, you have a son in the house who is just turning 10, 12 years or 13 years, and he's asking for pocket money. So you don't want to deny. At the same time, you want to keep an eye what the child is doing. So we buy a piggy bank and say, okay, I will give you, you put it in this, and at the end of the month or 2 months, 3 months, you are allowed once to open and take something, and you utilize that money for yourself, but you have to save also. Now what happened? The mother is keeping an eye. Now son or daughter, they're putting in the piggy bank by taking from mother and father. Now suddenly, over a period of time, the child saw mother is trying to interfere or father is trying to interfere too much. What did you do with that money? Oh, that was a waste of money. Oh, you should not have done. So they feel it is better that I should not keep this piggy bank or collect in front of them, and I should not use in front of them. So what they do? He will nearby search for a mummy's best friend or auntie, some relative, and say, can I keep my piggy bank in with you? So I will come every month when I get money and put it in this. Yeah. But only thing is, you should not interfere in what I'm doing with this money. So that auntie is saying, okay, I will not interfere. But I hope you will give some commission to me to keep shut my mouth for not interfering into it. Now, same thing is happening within the whole world. What is happening? Within the country itself, we will see to it that the ministers, they will collect the taxes under the name of, anything, and they will go and try to invest somewhere else where they are given a low rate of interest, or, uh, the exchange is given very high way in some other name, under some other policies. So what happened? This was over a period of time, practice was going on. Suddenly, don't know what happened, and that neighbor auntie or that neighbor country or that neighbor person or those XYZ bank, they not only revealed the names that we have so much of collection of your ministers with us in under this name, they have invested here. So all that black and white, all that colors were seen. So this was named as Panama paper leak, which keeps happening. And how over a period of time our ministers are trying their best, and that's why the currency was tried to be changed. Yeah, whole of the system was changed. Lot of uh, the schemes overnight they had to shut down, so that this colorful exchanges, what is happening under the names, should be stopped. This practice should be stopped, and how we can save our own treasures. Yeah. For that matter, even we understand nowadays, if we see the charter accountants, actually their expertise is how you have to pay the tax, and then how you can also claim your tax back. But over a period, we are seeing they take under table money and they will manipulate the balance sheet in such a way that they will help the rugs and the thieves to manipulate more and more, and country's money is getting haywire. The wealth is going haywire under the wrong headings. So money has to come as donation, but is kept in proper account system so that the transparency can be maintained and accountability has to be there. This is what we have to learn and understand over a period of time, which is not getting. Why it is not happening? Olden times, the kings were trained. But now, do we see any politician getting training? For that matter, we see the doctors getting trained, how they have to deal with the sick person and how they have to treat with the dead bodies. Yeah, over a period of time. Because a person who has taken admission in the, as science student, if on the third day he has been given a dead body, he will also be the next person lying next. Yeah. So over a period of time, practice under the expert doctors, he becomes expert to deal with. So this is what is the point here, that we need to understand how the government, which they say it is of the people, by the people. But why do we need, if everybody is trained, if doctor is doing his duty, if a scientist is doing his duty by not selling away the formulas to other countries? Yeah. So we will not require all this government new policies, because everybody, if they are firm in their duties, this is what is the point Bhishma Dev is trying to make it to Yudhishthir Maharaj, that how cheating happens, where cheating happens, if sufficiently one is not given the expertism in their field, whether it is a teacher, whether it's a doctor, whether it's a lawyer, whether it's a police person, whether it's a government person. Yeah. Yeah, Mataji, you can continue from here, Vishbhanu Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Sure.
Actually, the qualified Brahmins are meant to give direction to the kings for proper administration in terms of the scriptures like the Manusmriti and Dharma Shastra of Parasara. A typical king is the ideal of the people in general, and if the king is pious, religious, and chivalrous and munificent, the citizens generally follow him. Such a king is not a lazy, sensuous person living at the cost of the subjects, but alert always to kill thieves and dacoits. The pious kings were not merciful to dacoits or thieves in the names of nonsensical ahimsa, non-violence. The thieves and dacoits were punished in an exemplary way, so that in the future no one would dare commit such nuisance in an organized form. Such thieves and dacoits were never meant for administration as they are now.
Now, thank you. Thank you so much. So here what point is made is that our scriptures are designed in such a way that if we follow them, if we read them, and if we practice them, then definitely everybody will be perfect. A typical king is ideal, for people in general. I remember in one of the incidents wherein Arjuna was told by one of the Brahmana, saying that, see, there is some wrong thing happening, because my wife, the moment she is conceived and she is delivering, my children are dying. So Arjun said, how is this happening? He said, no, I don't know this. So it has to stop, because we are pious. We think that there is something wrong with the administration. So Arjuna said, okay, I'm going to guard this time. And if your child dies, I will kill myself. Arjuna says, Are Bapre, what is this? Now you're going to, roam around that house, that, okay, I will take care that the lady is pregnant until the time she is delivering her. So the point here is, people who are so well trained and in practice of devotional practice, that in case of anything going wrong, they used to immediately had guts to point out king, saying that there is something wrong within your practice, not our practice, but we will not share the sufferings. So you have to take care of it. So this is, nowadays, we cannot see all this. Yeah. It says the pious kings were not merciful to dacoits at all. I remember, I think in Saudi or somewhere, there was a practice. If they find anybody doing looting or they are misbehaving with the female, there is a, there is a square market they call, and the word is used as chop chop. They will just chop off their hands so that nobody will dare to do any mistakes in future. So it says such practices are very, very important, so that there has to be fear within the people, those who are into wrong practices. Yeah. Sindhu, it's your turn. You want to read?
Yes,
You-
Mataji. Sure,
Yeah,
Mataji.
please.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Please read.
Yes, text 27. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The taxation law was simple. From there, no, Mataji.
Yes.
The taxation law was simple. There was no force, no encroachment. The king had a right to take 1/4 of the production made by the subject. The king had a right to claim 1/4 of one's allotted wealth. One would never grudge parting with it because, due to the pious king and religious harmony, there was enough natural wealth, namely grains, fruits, flowers, silk, cotton, milk, jewels, minerals, etc., and therefore no one was materially unhappy. The citizens were rich in agriculture and animal husbandry, and therefore they had enough grains, fruits, and milk without any artificial needs of soaps and toilets, cinemas, and bars. The king had to see that the reserve
Okay, we'll
energy.
wait here for 2 minutes. Yeah.
Sure.
Hare Krishna. Just for 2 minutes. Yeah. So it says the taxation law was simple, very simple. And how was that? Whatever the farmers or the Vaishya community, whatever was there, they would happily give 1/4 to the king as the taxation. Why? Because it says, first of all, the king had right on that 1/4 production of the, by the subjects. The king had a right to claim it. And the subject also will happily give because the king was pious. But over a period, what practice, because they had abundantly, so much so that they said, even if we give half of it, we are sure and we have faith and trust on the king that he is going to use it for the needies. And it is again going to be a wealthy and welfare for us. So they have given all the communities that, commodities that used to be there. It says the cities were rich in agriculture and animal husbandry, and therefore they had enough grains, fruits, and milk without any artificial need of soaps and toilets, cinemas and bars. Why? Because these aspects are said to be luxury. But it was said that when we want the necessities are there, then we don't want luxury. But nowadays, what is happening? The luxuries are counted into necessities. That's what is the problem where of understanding and the practice. Yeah, which we must try and understand how important what practice and what need is. Sindhu, you can read 3-4 lines and then we will pass it on to Sudha Mataji.
Sure, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The king had to see that the reserve energy of humanity was properly utilized. Human energy is meant not exactly for fulfilling animal propensities, but for self-realization. The whole government was specifically designed to fulfill this particular purpose. As such, the king had to select properly the cabinet ministers, but not on the strength of voting background. The ministers, the military commanders, and even the ordinary soldiers were all selected by personal qualification, and the king had to supervise them properly before they were appointed to their respective posts.
Okay, we'll wait here. Yeah. Okay. And then further Sudha Mataji will read after 2 minutes. Yeah. So here, what is the point they are trying to make? Prabhupada is trying to say, now everything is happening on vote. And we saw how bogus, results they come, where people are slogging and struggling, with the enforcement. The whole of the voting system is being changed or exchanged, and what was right to happen, it goes in the favor of opposite person. Yeah, this is what is the practice going on. It says earlier it was not that. The king had to see that reserved, energy of humanity was properly utilized. Now I don't see any reservations are there. Everywhere there is debts. Yeah, our gold is mortgaged somewhere. Our assets are mortgaged somewhere else. Huh? We are still day by day. We have to borrow from here, borrow from there. Hmm? Why is so? Because there is corruption, and that's the reason the masses have no faith on the leaders. And it is said that the ministers, the military commanders, and even the ordinary soldiers were all selected by the personal qualification. Yes, they have to see the qualification. Is person worthy? Now we see somebody sitting in jail and he is filing the nomination for voting, isn't it? Yeah. So if we are electing the thieves and rugs, and if they are going to rule the country, then definitely our wealth is not going to be in safe hands. What to talk about wealth? What to talk about culture? What to talk about the practices, general practice also? That's the reason the countries are suffering. Yes, Sudha Mataji, you can continue.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams.
Pranams.
The king was especially vigilant to see that the tapasvis or persons who sacrificed everything for disseminating spiritual knowledge were never disregarded. The king knew well that the Supreme Personality of Godhead never tolerates any insult to his unallowed devotees. Such tapasvis were trusted leaders even of the rogues and thieves who would never disobey the orders of tapasvis. The king would give special protection to illiterates, the helpless, and widows of the state. Defense measures were arranged previous to any attack by the enemies. The taxing process was easy, and it was not meant for squandering but for strengthening the reserve fund. The soldiers were recruited from all parts of the world and they were trained for special duties.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So I think so it is self-explanatory, but we will just touch upon 2-3 points. That tapasvi. Do we have examples in our Shastra wherein even the ropes and the rugs and the thieves also trusted the leaders? Any example? Mrigari, he obeyed the order of Narad Muni, isn't it? Who was Mrigari?
Hunter.
He was
Hunter.
even the
Hunter.
animals,
Ah,
Used to
he was killing and
kill animals half.
killing
yes,
the animals,
the
half
moment
killed.
yeah, the moment he happened to come in contact with the Narad Muni, looking at he's a sage. So looking at the sage, that his practice must be different. Though he was a thief, he was a hunter, he used to kill, but still he surrendered. Isn't it? He surrendered. So we have examples from the Shastra. So it says the king would give special protection to illiterate and the helpless and widows of the state. I don't know how many of you are still aware of. Many a times you will see, especially in the military, if the soldier is on front, he had to sacrifice himself. The widow at home, they announce that she'll be getting so and so amount, but by the time she claims it and by the time it goes, it's already 2-3 years over, and out of 1 rupee she may get just 4 annas. And where is 75 gone? So for the middle person, brokers, oh please, somebody will say, oh, for paperwork, oh, somebody will say to go there and personally be present. So you don't come, we will go. Oh, we will get you money at your own house. And poor people are cheated like this, It says defense measures were arranged previously to any attack by the enemies. Yeah. So what does this mean? Even it is not just for the citizens, even the military or the defense measures, that was also arranged previously, and they were all ready. And if at all there is any attack, it says taxing process was easy and it was not meant for squandering. Yeah. So this taxation, this to say all that is taxed is kept reserve, and not only it will be used for the welfare, for emergencies and for people who are in need. I don't know how much is the practice now. There is, we don't hear this, we don't understand this, isn't it? Okay, who is the next one to read the next para? I think we have 1, 2, 3, 3 paras. So we need 3 speakers. As far as...
Mataji, I'll read Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, no problem. Mahalakshmi Mataji, please.
Far as salvation is concerned, one has to conquer the principles of lust, anger, unlawful desires, avarice, and bewilderment. To get freedom from anger, one should learn how to forgive. To be free from unlawful desires, one should not make plans. By spiritual culture, one is able to conquer sleep. By tolerance, can one conquer desires and avarice. Disturbances from various diseases can be avoided by regulated diets. By self-control, one can be free from false hopes, and money can be saved by avoiding undesirable association. By practice of yoga, one can control hunger and worldliness and can be avoided by culturing the knowledge of impermanences. Dizziness can be conquered by rising up, and false arguments can be conquered by actual ascertainment. Talkativeness can be avoided by gravity, and silence by prose. One can avoid fearfulness. Perfect knowledge can be obtained by self-cultivation. One must be free from lust, avarice, anger, dreaming, etc. to actually attain the path of salvation.
Yeah, thank you. So,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So definitely we are looking forward that how Yudhishthir Maharaj was being said a fantastic practice of a king, because he got this all information and guidelines from Bhishma Dev. Each and every aspect, yeah, whether it was anger, lust, unlawful desires, everything he's telling how it will be there. Because when we take birth in Bhumandal, on the Bhumandal, then definitely we will have all these with us, the qualities which we have to purify them. So he says, once by practicing all, whatever is said as per the Shastra, then not only the control over, not only we will able to conquer, we'll become fearless, we will become perfect, and then actually we can attain the path of salvation. Yes, I will read this quickly, small one, and then I will ask somebody to read one. As far as the women class are concerned, they are accepted as a power of inspiration for men. As much as such, women are more powerful than men. Mighty Julius was controlled by a Cleopatra. Such powerful women are controlled by shyness. Therefore, shyness is important for women. Once this control is loosened, women can create havoc in the society by adultery. Adultery means production of unwanted children, known as Varna Shankara, who disturbs the world. Where we have learned this Varna Shankara in Bhagavad Gita?
Mataji, Arjuna will be worried if the men are killed, the women will go into Varna Shankara. Chapter 1. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Very good. Yes, when Arjuna is arguing that I will not kill, the reason of not killing, and he is giving all the reasons. And there is the point that when the women of the house will be forced to go out and mingle with the men folk, and then there are chances of unwanted progeny, and that unwanted progeny will be nothing but Varna Shankara, which will disturb the whole world. Very good. Good, Archana. Yes, so that's the reason it says, as far as women class are concerned, they are accepted as power. Yes, Durga, Shakti, Yes, women are said to be the Graha Lakshmi, Annapurna, then Guru. Why? Because Lord has blessed them, but that blessings has to be also maintained in the shyness, in the on the order of devotion, isn't it? Okay, the last para, and then we have 2 shlokas we will read, and then I will summarize. Yes, Archana Sunil Kumar. Yes, please read.
Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Prabhupada. The last item taught by Bhishma Deva was the process of pleasing the Lord. We are all eternal servants of the Lord, and when we forget this essential part of our nature, we are put into material conditions of life. The simple process of placing the Lord, for the householders especially, is to install the deity of the Lord at home. By concentrating on the deity, one may progressively go on with the daily routine work. Worshipping the deity at home, serving the devotee, hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam, residing in a holy place, and chanting the holy name of the Lord are all inexpensive items by which one can please the Lord. Thus, the subject matter was explained by the grandfather to his grandchildren. Hare
Jai.
Krishna.
I think it was simple. They are making a point that one should do worship at home. So there, recently we were listening to one lecture where it was said, if you are not able to bring the deity, no problem, because if we bring deity, then you have to learn the process and that honoring, offering mantra, and then you have to do the offering. So if a photo also is kept in Nectar of Devotion, they have given, in many books it is given, Krishna consciousness, elevation to Krishna consciousness, progress. So there they have given how you have to set altar, and how even you can keep a picture of the Lord and you can do the service. Main point is that one, we have to cultivate within ourselves the knowledge of the practice of becoming devotional. Yeah. Okay. So we read this 2 shloka and then I will consolidate. 1:9:28, it says, Dharmartha kama mokshascha sahopayan yatha mune nanakhayaneti hasesu varnayam asa tatvitti. Translation, purport by Srila Prabhupada. Then he described the occupational duty of different orders and status use of life, citing instance from history, for he was himself well acquainted with the truth. Yeah. Anybody for this purport quickly? Yeah, Madhvi, you can go ahead. Purport by Srila Prabhupada.
Purport
Hare
by Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Very
Incidents mentioned in the Vedic literatures such as the Puranas, Mahabharata and Ramayana are factual historical narrations that took place sometime in the past, although not in any chronological order. Such historical facts, being instructive for ordinary men, were assorted without chronological reference. Besides that, they happen on different planets, nay, in different universes, and thus the descriptions of the narrations is sometimes measured by 3 dimensions. We are simply concerned with the instructive lessons such as incidents, even though they are not in order by our limited range of understanding. Bhishma Deva described such narrations before Maharaja Yudhishthira in reply to his different questions. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Munivar. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, no. There is problem.
Yeah, even I got the same thing. Bad getaway.
Oh, okay. We'll just wait. Okay, I'll try attaining this. Okay, so I'll quickly read only the shloka, which is one which is left. because there is some net issue. That site has got some problem. Correct?
But now it started.
Now it started?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Okay, can you read the shloka? That is 29th shloka, Devla?
Sure, Mataji. Shloka number 29. Dharmam pravadatastasya sakalaha pratyupasthitaha yo yogena chandam mrityor vanchitastuttarayanah.
What is the translation saying?
Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. While Bhishma Deva was describing occupational duties, the sun's course ran into the northern hemisphere. This period is desired by mystics who die at their will.
Yes. So this is the point that we are trying to make. He's dying at the will. How big is the purport? Oh, huge purport. Okay. Can we quickly read the purport, Devla, if you don't mind?
Yeah, Mataji.
Yeah.
The perfect yogis or mystics can leave the material body at their own sweet will at a suitable time and go to a suitable planet desired by them. In the Bhagavad Gita 8.24, it is said that the self-realized souls who have exactly identified themselves with the interest of the Supreme Lord can generally leave the material body during the time of the fire god's effulgence and when the sun is in the northern horizon and thus achieve the transcendental sky. In the Vedas, these times are considered auspicious for quitting the body, and they are taken advantage by the expert mystics who have perfected the system. Perfection of yoga means attainment of such supermental states as to be able to leave the material body as desired. Yogis can also reach any planet within no time without a material vehicle. The yogis can reach the highest planetary system within a very short time, and this is impossible for the materialist. Even attempting to reach the highest planet will take millions of years at a speed of millions of miles per hour. This is a different science, and Bhishma Deva knew well how to utilize it. He was just waiting for the suitable moment to quit his material body, and the golden opportunity arrived when he was instructing his noble grandsons, the Pandavas. He thus prepared himself to quit his body before the exalted Lord Sri Krishna, the pious Pandavas, and the great sages, headed by Bhagavan Vyasa, etc., all great souls. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Dhanur Pradhan.
Thank you. So, Bhishma Dev is trying to make 2 points here. Here he's also talking, because he's also now mentally preparing himself to leave his body. And he's looking at a Lord, because the Lord is present there. And that's how that's the mood that, Yudhishthira Maharaj is having, and making up that I can leave the body right now. And the previous shloka also, he says, we are simply concerned with the instructive lessons of the incidents, even though they are not in order by our limited range of understanding. Bhishma Dev describes such narration before Yudhishthira Maharaj in reply to his different questions, because Yudhishthira Maharaj had asked few questions, and on that questions he is replying. So there was a question also about the dying person, quitting the body. In connection to this particular purport, I just want to take you all, see here he is giving the reference of 8.24. I want to make you all read few shlokas in chapter 8 of Bhagavad Gita, wherein we all know, text 5, it says, antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram ya prayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra samshaya. Immediately after that, because first shloka says that you just remember me and I will, give you moksha from this body. But you remember me. Remember me how? Not XYZ, Krishna. And then in 6th, he is saying, Yad yad vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tam evati kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavita. What is the translation says? Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. Why? Because just previous shloka he said, if you remember me, you're going to come to me. Of this, there will be no doubt. Immediately after that, he says, that means if you don't remember me while quitting your body, whatever your thinking and your state of mind is there, you will attain that without fail. Everybody understands what I'm saying?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
So, example here we can give of Bharat Maharaj. because he was remembering his golden deer. He got the body of deer. And few shlokas where we see the translations, it talks about immediately after this 6 and 7, we see many shlokas. He says, you have to remember me. He says, one must meditate upon me as the supreme person, as the one who knows everything, as he is the oldest of all. That means you have to remember Krishna. Then it says, one who at the time of death fixes his life air between the eyebrows and strength by the strength of yoga, and then again he's saying himself in remembering the supreme Lord in full devotion. Okay. Then in the 11th again he says, person who are learned in the Veda, who utter Om. The practice has to be there. Otherwise, you cannot remember me. And straight away we go to, he says in 15th also, he says, after attaining me, because he says, for one who always remember me without deviation, I am easy to obtain. O son of Pratha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service, they will attain me. In 15th, he says, after attaining me, what will happen? Great souls who are yogis in devotion never returns to this planetary, temporary world. And then he says, from highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are the places of miseries. But one who attains my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. And then he's talking about the calculation. By human calculation, 1,000 age taken together forms the duration of Brahma's one day, and similarly duration of his one night. He says, beginning of Brahma's day, all living entities become manifested and then unmanifested. And same way happens at the night. He says, again and again when Brahma's day arises, all living entities come into being, and with the arrival of Brahma's night, they are helplessly annihilated. Now we go straight to 22. He says, the Supreme Lord says, who is great than all is attainable by unalloyed devotion. Although he is present in his abode, he is all pervading and everything is situated within him. Then he says, O best of Bharata, I shall now explain to you the different time at which passing away from this world, the yogi does or does not come back. Does or does not come back. Now it starts. Anybody wants to take chance? See, it is only 4, 5. Who wants to read?
May I read, Mataji?
Please, 24th.
Those who know the Supreme Brahman attains that Supreme by passing away from the world during the influence of fiery God, in the light, at the auspicious moment of the day, during the fortnight of the waxing moon, or during the 6 months when the sun travels in the north.
Thank
the
you.
Mystic
Somebody else? 25th? Thank you. Quickly. Dinesh Prabhu, yes. 25th.
The mystic who passes away from this world during the smoke, the night, the fortnight of the waning moon, or the 6 months when the sun passes to the south, reaches the moon planet, but again comes back.
Yeah, if at this situation one passes, but again comes back. 26th, anybody?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu, please go ahead.
According to Vedic opinion, there are two ways of passing from this world. One in light and one in darkness. When passes in light, he does not come back. But when one passes in darkness, he returns.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. This is what the point I was making the other day also. Yeah, text 27, somebody. We have only 2. Please come forward.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Vikram, go ahead.
Text 27. Although the devotees know these two paths, O Arjuna, they are never bewildered. Therefore, be always fixed in devotion.
Thank you. Yes. 28, last. Somebody?
Text 28. A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol.
This is what is the point, that we have to take a shortcut. That is what Bhishma Dev is trying to tell Yudhishthira Maharaj, that now when you will be king, See to it, all your subjects are on the path of devotion, because if they are practicing devotion, they don't have to look into the Vedas and Upanishad and the Puranas and other things. Just let them stick to the practice of devotional service and follow all these instructions, fixing their mind and remembering Lord Krishna, and then everything will be taken care nicely. Hare Krishna. So we
Hare
stop.
Krishna, Mataji, can I ask you one short question?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, just now when you were reading this, it said that a person who passes away at daytime and night. Can you just give throw some light on that?
Yeah, I think I was speaking in detail on Friday to this.
No,
See,
Mataji, Friday I was not. I was at a wedding. That's
thing
why
is,
I missed the
thing
class.
thing is, it is also given in detail. We will be again touching these points, but quickly I will say, see,
Yeah.
the waning moon and the waxing moon, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
which is the lighter part?
Waxing, no?
Exactly. So it says, one who passes that time, they will not come back again.
Anybody?
Yeah,
Or the
anybody.
devotees?
Anybody.
Okay.
See, when they are passing away, that means they will be having some piousness to get, crack that time, isn't it?
Yeah, yes.
Then Bhagavad Gita says, if they have in their account piousness and this opportunity they got, what will happen? Three things will be there. Bhagavad Gita, it is saying, you may not fall from this form. You may take birth in an aristocrat family, or you may be taking birth in the Brahmana family where you have stopped. You will get opportunity to continue again.
Yes.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
what
that means those who take birth in waning time, that means they can go to lower planets?
Yeah, they will go to the lower planets. Yes.
Oh, dangerous.
That's the reason. Because
Yeah.
we don't have awareness. That's the reason we are making a point that from childhood, from the baby, if we start practicing Bhagavad Gita, reading at home, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, there are only 7 things one has to do. Read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, try to practice that. Give charity, go to dham, eat prashadam, take association, and you must see to it that you get into some or the other austerity or something and take as much as possible, give and take associations, and do ekadashi to purify yourself. Done.
Yeah, we are doing all that, Mataji, whatever you mentioned.
Yes.
Maybe not like the pure devotees, but we are doing all that.
Yes, over a period. See,
Yeah.
we say, many a times when the diksha is happening, maybe the diksha is happening in the age of 40 or 50. So, they will say, when you started. So maybe 5 years back, 10 years back. So in that 10 years, how much did you practice? So that's the reason Krishna
Yeah.
is making arrangement that at least on Ekadashi day you chant more. That means already you started late. You have got the taste late. You developed it late. At least now chant, and on Ekadashi day, on auspicious day, chant extra. Why? Because when you chant extra, that will be multiplied into 1,000 and 1,000. It's a benefit. Yes, it's a benefit. Prabhupada has said, at least on Ekadashi day, try to chant 25. So why all the Vaishnavas, they want to chant 64 rounds?
Yeah.
On
I'm doing
Janmashtami,
25 we are doing.
day, on an auspicious day, why they do sacrifice? Why they do sacrifice? Because with the sacrifice, it's like, if you take one, you get 2 free. So you're just doing on auspicious day sacrifice, but that is multiplied into many, 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 many times. That is the mercy of, by instruction of the Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, and Lord Krishna. Okay.
Oh, wonderful, Mataji. I was doing, but I want to have a better understanding, Mataji.
We must. Okay. Anybody has
Okay,
any other?
thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, waxing moon means Shukla Paksh, right? Yeah. Okay. Thank you.